Welcome to the chemistry class, and today I'll discuss the metallurgy chapter. Already our Priya Samit discussed and shared some videos, and today specially I will discuss the extraction of aluminium. Okay, now bauxite. All of you know that formula of bauxite is Al2O3 dot twice H2O. Bauxite is the most important ore from which aluminium metal is exclusively extracted, and the ore is usually purified first, then electrolysis is done. So the two important steps involved in the extraction of aluminium from bauxite ore are: first step is the purification of bauxite, and second step is the electrolysis of fused aluminium. Bauxite is generally purified by Beas process or Hall's process when the ore carries more amount of iron oxides called red bauxite. But if silica is the major impurity in case of white bauxite, then Sarpex process is employed. Okay, but here we are restricted to our syllabus. So our syllabus there is only Beas process, and today I will discuss the Beas process only. Okay. Now Beas process, here also the we are using that bauxite as the main ore. First, what you have to do? First step is the concentration of ore. Concentration of ore. All of you know the difference between ore and mineral. Okay. So from ore we can easily extract the metal profitably and in large amount. Okay. And in case of Beas process, the ore is first crushed into powder and washed with water to remove the clay and dirt. Then it is roasted. Roasting and calcination process you know. Okay. Roastation when heating is done in presence of oxygen, and calcination in absence of oxygen. And when they are roasted, ferrous oxide in it is converted to ferric oxide, and the volatile impurities are removed. Next process is called leaching. It is a chemical process. Now the ore is treated with concentrated solution of sodium hydroxide, and the mixture is heated around 150 to 160 degrees centigrade under pressure for 2-3 hours in a tank. Alumina dissolves in alkali to form water soluble sodium aluminate, that is sodium meta-aluminate, and the impurities of oxides of iron remain unaffected. Okay. So what is the reaction here? That Al2O3 dot twice H2. This is our bauxite. Okay. And we are reacting with concentrated sodium hydroxide solution, and they will react, they will form sodium aluminate twice NaAlO2, and this is also called sodium meta-aluminate, plus there will be formation of thrice H2. Now you know that this sodium meta-aluminate is water soluble, so there will be the third step. Now what will be the third step? That conversion of sodium meta-aluminate to aluminium hydroxide, that is NaAlO2, we are converting to aluminium hydroxide. This is the third step. Okay. Insoluble impurities are removed by filtration, and the filtrate containing that sodium meta-aluminate is taken freshly precipitated aluminium hydroxide. Sodium meta-aluminate gets hydrolyzed and changes into aluminium hydroxide. Okay. Now here what is the function of this aluminium hydroxide that we are adding? Okay. So the addition of freshly prepared aluminium hydroxide is called seeding, and that helps in the formation of precipitate of aluminium hydroxide. So here this sodium aluminate NaAlO2, okay, we are hydrolyzing by water. We are heating around 50 to 60 degrees centigrade. Then there will be formation of aluminium hydroxide precipitate, plus there will be formation of sodium hydroxide. All of you know from analytical chemistry that aluminium hydroxide forms a gelatinous white PBT, and the addition of freshly prepared aluminium hydroxide is called seeding, that helps in the formation of precipitate of aluminium hydroxide. And then we will go to the fourth step. In the fourth step, there will be the conversion of this aluminium hydroxide, okay, to pure alumina. So here conversion of aluminium hydroxide to pure alumina, Al2O3. Now here what we have to do, that aluminium hydroxide will precipitate, that we have to filter, that we have to wash, then this aluminium hydroxide we have to dry it properly. Finally this aluminium hydroxide is ignited at the temperature around 1500 degrees centigrade, and then you will get pure alumina. So here twice AlOH whole thrice we are applying heat or igniting around 1500 degrees centigrade. Then there will be formation of Al2O3 plus there will be formation of water. So in this way we can prepare the alumina. Hope you can understand. Next step is the electrolysis of fused alumina. This is the alumina. So next step will be the electrolysis of fused alumina, and this process is called Hall-Héroult process. Okay. So next step is the electrolysis process. Electrolysis of Al2O3, and the process is known as Hall-Héroult process. Okay. Hall-Héroult, H-E-R-O-U-L-T-S, Hall-Héroult process. Okay. Now, why normal electrolysis we are not doing? There are so many causes that we will discuss one by one. First, you have to understand that aluminium oxide is a very stable oxide, and aluminium has a high affinity for oxygen. Okay. So alumina, that means aluminium oxide, cannot be reduced by simple hydrogen, carbon and carbon monoxide. So this Hall-Héroult process is applied here, and here the melting point of this alumina is very high. So we have to add other electrolytes to reduce the fusion temperature. Okay. So here the electrolytes are used. Electrolytes are a mixture of compounds. Okay. First we have to take alumina. Alumina percentage will be around 20%, and its formula will be Al2O3. And next we have to use cryolite. Cryolite percentage will be around 60%. This is NaCAlFC. Okay. Next one is fluorspar. Fluorspar here required 20%, and its formula is calcium fluoride. So these are the electrolytic mixtures. Okay, so we are not taking only the alumina, we are adding with this alumina cryolite 60%, we are taking alumina 20% and fluorspar 20%. So in this way we have to take these electrolytic mixtures. Now what is the function of cryolite? Cryolite is used to lower the working temperature of the electrolytic cell. Actually the melting point of aluminum oxide is near 2030 degree centigrade. But after addition of this cryolite, okay, that is the Na3AlF6, okay, the fusion temperature of alumina will be decreased to or reduced to 950 degree centigrade. Okay, thus cryolite helps in saving the fuel or the energy cost. Cryolite and fluorspar increases the conductivity of the mixture, since pure alumina is almost a non-conductor of electricity. Fluorspar, that calcium fluoride, enhances the mobility of the fused mixtures by acting as a solvent for the electrolytic mixtures. Next, here the diagram is already done. So this is on an electrolytic cell. Already we have discussed in electrolysis chapter, and it is actually a rectangular tank linked with gas carbon. Here it is in carbon lining is there, this gas carbon is there. Okay, and here are electrodes. One is cathode, another is anode. Now which one is cathode? The carbon lining of iron tanks as cathode. So this carbon lining is acting as a cathode. Okay, and what are the anodes? Anodes consist of a number of carbon rods. So these are the carbon rods. These are acting as anodes. Okay, and these carbon rods are attached with copper clamps and dipped in fused mass. So here you are able to see that this one is the negative and this one is the positive. So this one is the anode, okay, and this one is called cathode. And here they are parallelly connected with a bulb that we will discuss later. So next, the temperature of the bath, electrolytic bath, we have to maintain, that will be around 950 degree centigrade. Now we have to pass current. Here circuit will be there. We have to pass current. 100 amperes at 7 to 6 volt is generally passed. But modern cells operate at 1,50,000 to 3 lakh ampere and 4 to 4.5 volt each cell, that can produce maximum of 2 tons of aluminium per day. Now what is the process here? Pure alumina dissolved in fused cryolite and fluorspar is electrolyzed. Okay, and after some time of electrolysis, aluminium will be produced at the cathode, and here one tapping hole is there. So from this tapping hole we have to remove the aluminium from time to time. Okay, and at the anode, okay, there will be liberation of oxygen. Reaction I am discussing so that you can understand. So oxygen is liberated at the anode, and anode is oxidized by carbon rods that can be oxidized by the liberated oxygen, and so anodes rods, okay, that means carbon rods, are replaced time to time. Now what is the reaction here? Actually many electrolytes are there. First one is that Na3AlF6. So Na3AlF6 also dissociates thrice Na plus 3 Al3 plus 6F minus. Calcium fluoride also will dissociate to Ca2 plus and 2F minus. And another is there, that is the alumina, Al2O3. Al2O3 also dissociates, forming twice Al3 plus thrice O2 minus. And another way dissociation is possible, that Al2O3 dissociate to Al3 plus Okay, and AlO3 3 minus, AlO3 3 minus. Okay, Al3 plus and AlO3 3 minus. Okay, now what will be the reaction at cathode? Cathode, definitely the aluminium will accept electron, that is twice Al3 plus accept 6 electron, and there will be formation of aluminium metal. And at anode, here you can show the simple reaction, that thrice O2 minus releasing 6 electron, that is at cathode there will be reduction, at anode there will be oxidation, and there will be formation of 3 nascent O, and this 3O will combine with another 3O and forming the oxygen gas, SiO2. And another way you can write this reaction, that 4 AlO3 C minus, but this will be better for you. Okay, so this is forming that twice Al2O3 plus there will be formation of thrice O2 plus 12 electron. Okay, so that is the anode, means loss of electron, oxidation takes place. So here also in this way also you can show that the formation of oxygen. So finally we can tell that by electrolysis of this mixture of these electrolytes, that the main component is our alumina. In cathode we will get aluminium, at anode we will get the oxygen as product. Okay, now during electrolysis cryolite is not used up, that means whole cryolite is not used up. Okay, but only aluminium oxide is used up. Actually we are consuming aluminium oxide, cryolite that is NaCl, this is not, we are not using. Okay, so it remains in the mixture. Okay, and only the aluminium oxide is consuming. Now here one lamp is there, that bulb, and this bulb is called control lamp, and this bulb is connected in parallel with the electrolytic bath. When the resistance of the bath increases, the lamp will glow, or the lamp will start glowing. Okay, so this indicating that more alumina is to be added. That means here alumina is consumed, percentage becomes less, so you have to add alumina again. Hope you can understand. And another thing, that a layer of powder coke is sprinkled over. Here powder coke is written, that powder coke is sprinkled over. Okay, over the electrolytic mixture. Why? Because the layer of powder coke prevents the burning of carbon electrons. We have already know that in anode there will be formation of oxygen, so there will be burning, it will convert into carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide gases. So the layer of powder coke prevents burning of carbon electrodes in air at the emergence point from the bath, and it also minimizes the heat loss by radiation. That you have to keep in mind, because questions are coming in exam. Now in this process, okay, that means a Hall-Héroult process, aluminium produced by this method is 99.8% pure. So this is 99.8% pure. Now if we want further purified, then we have to do the electrolytic refining process, and that process is called Hoops process, and by Hoops process we can get pure aluminium that will be around up to 99.9%. Okay, now Hoops process is not in our syllabus. Next day we can, if we get time, we will discuss. Okay, so today up to this, hope you can understand the extraction part of the metallurgy of aluminium. This part is mainly very important in your metallurgy chapter, and every year question is coming from this part. That is why although PSM is discussed, I have also discussed. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask me through your school query button. So today up to this. Thank you.